Okay, I'm going to call to order the regular meeting for the Eureka Springs Hospital Commission now on October 18th at 2021 at 5:58 p.m. We'll first have a call to order. I'm present, Ty Burden.
Kent Turner, Treasurer.
Angie Shaw, CEO.
Barbara Dix.
Judy Gigi.
Oh, and David Carlisle is here, so we do meet quorum.
And David Carlisle.
Has everyone had a chance to read the regular minutes for the meeting September 20th, 2021?
Yes.
Yes.
If so, may I have a motion to accept the minutes as written?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all of those in favor say aye.
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 All of those opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Doesn't look like we have public comment tonight. We do have 2 members of the press that are present. So with that, we'll move on to the treasurer's report. Kent?
We haven't had any activity except interest since last month. The checking account balance stands at $17,019.01. The money market accrued $416.33 worth of interest. That stands at $1,448,328.81. The CD doesn't get interest except on a quarterly basis or every 3 months. So it's the same as it was last month at $435,780.98.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Kent about the treasurer's report as soon as he gets back?
I don't.
No? Okay. Okay, then on the committee reports, Kent, anything happening on the Finance Committee?
What I've been doing is leaving those guys alone to work because they've got enough to do. I do follow the email chains back and forth between our consultant, so I'm really still pleased with how things are going, but just haven't wanted to bother them to take them off task.
Okay, very good. Quad C, we haven't really met formally. I've been in contact with Angie weekly and Barbara as well. So nothing new that won't be covered in the CEO report for that committee. The Marketing Committee, Leva has resigned from the commission. April is going to take over that committee as she was planned on before Leva left. So there won't be a report for that committee. Angie may have something about marketing in the CEO report possibly. So with that, let's go on to the CEO report.
Okay. On the CEO report regarding COVID-19 and vaccinations, we continue to still do our outpatient COVID testing daily, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And we continue to hold our vaccine clinics for anyone that is still interested in vaccines or boosters at this time for Pfizer. And that's at the hospital clinic every Friday from 10 to 1. Regarding nursing, the swing bed program in our respiratory department, we're still short on nursing staff at this time. We are still actively advertising. The swing bed case manager position is also open, and we are actively advertising to fill that position as well. Our respiratory department was just featured in a story in the Citizen, and Greg and Brian are doing a great job in that department. We're very lucky and thankful to have both of them. The ER, our ER director, Joy Kennedy, she started October 4th. She is currently reviewing policies and procedures, as well as going over our stroke and trauma programs. She's already initiated and educated staff on code stroke policies, and that is going well. And our census in ER remains steady. We continue to see record numbers monthly. Again, September was another record-breaking month. The number was the highest it's been in probably 5 years, looking back. Lab is continuing to do in-house testing as well as our outpatient COVID test. Since October 1, we've completed 159 tests with 17 positives, and 8 of those were positives as of just today.
Oh, my.
So we had had kind of a lull where we were seeing 1 positive about a day, every other day, and today we had already had 8, and that was up until 2. So I'm not sure if we had any more after that, but we were still testing. The radiology department, we purchased a diagnostic monitor. It did arrive and was placed into service for use by the physicians. And they're using that, of course, to read all of our plain radiology films. And it has made a big difference. Before, they were just using a regular TV monitor, so this has been an upgrade for us. And our director is currently working with the cardiologist, Dr. Tandon, on completing outpatient echoes and carotids on his patients, and he has been sending us outpatient procedures for those. Our clinic, we're still moving forward on it. We were accepted through Medicare. We're still currently waiting on Medicaid's approval at this time. Regarding business office, we're currently seeking billing staff to help bring our billing procedures back in-house. Right now we use MedHost as a third-party biller. Once we get that staff, we're going to work on transitioning from MedHost to complete our billing. That will actually save the facility some money to bring it back in-house. And that's where it was several years ago. So. And on top of them helping the hospital, they will be able to help do billing for the clinic as well. The HIM department is currently reviewing updating physician credentialing. There was a MedHost error that caused delays in coding that has been corrected, and the charts that were affected are in process of being caught up. Due to that error in their system, it caused 15 days of charts not to drop. So we're trying to get those all caught up. They're also looking into an encoding program that will help the hospital. Ours is currently outdated, so we're looking for an efficient program to assist with our coding and speed up the billing process. We are also looking at bringing in another coder, either part-time or full-time. Once that happens, we still are using a third-party coder, and that will be able to end that contract. Human resources, we have open enrollment this week for all hospital staff. We are working with the city. It's a combined effort, and that enrollment is scheduled for tomorrow and Wednesday. Marketing, we are currently working with Master Signs regarding replacing all of our current hospital signage outdoors with the new logo. And then we have also started receiving several quotes in on T-shirts and other items to put our logo on, such as water bottles and jackets and different items of that for staff and the community. Maintenance, housekeeping, dietary, and IT. The roof was replaced this past week on the Brown House. The final expense will be more than what was quoted due to the decking on the roof was damaged and all had to be replaced. That was something they couldn't tell until they were up there in the middle of it. The remodel on the unit room on the nursing floor, that is going to be the 4-bed room in the hospital. It started October 5th. They went in and removed all of the wallpaper and flooring, and we had the new flooring placed in there, along with replacing the sinks and cabinets. It looks like a whole new place, so it'll be exciting to get that throughout the rest of the hospital. Once they are complete with it, they're just finalizing some small things in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make that RER for about 48 hours while they replace all the flooring in the ER. Dietary, I know reported last month that they were fully staffed. The 2 new staff that they hired will be completing their CDM classes to become certified dietary managers. And then just some general information. Last week, we received confirmation that the facility's payback to Medicare was complete, and all of those accounts were at a 0 balance. This payback was inherited from Allegiance with Medicare, so it will be our final Allegiance debt.
Very good, Angie. Does anyone have any questions for Angie about her report? Kent?
Was the head of maintenance able to find any contractors for the back wall?
I know that they were supposed to meet with another one last week, and the last I heard is that they were running late, so I don't know if they actually showed up Friday or not.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? No? Okay, with that, we'll move on to the CFO report. Bill, are you able to join us there?
Yeah, I can hear y'all fine. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Turn my gain up on my microphone. I may be replicating some of the stuff that Angie said, but looking at our modified cash basis income statement, our expenditures exceeded our receipts by a large margin. Part of that is that in our salaries and wages, on the 30th of September, $92,000 payroll dumped for the October 1st payroll. That's pretty much the norm. It's happening on Thursday, and then they draw on the checks are issued. They hit the banks on Friday. So that happened. So our payroll is overstated.
Bill, do you want to pause just a second? Your microphone's getting pretty hard to hear. I don't know if you can readjust that. I'm going to just reiterate what you said really quickly, that we did have a large difference in our revenue to expenses in the negative territory this time, and that at least a part of that was explained by a October 1st payroll deadline that dropped September 30th, and that was part of the explanation. And I think that's as far as you've gotten. We'll see. You want to try your mic again there?
I turned it off. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still not great. It's a little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I keep dropping in and out. I apologize. If I'm not clear, you say, what'd you say? So I'll understand that.
Okay.
After that, I looked through the next big number on the financials is purchase services. And we've been going through a transition to a new AP clerk. And in a perfect world, that does not affect operations. But when you have someone that's new to the computer system and the way we do things, it does affect outcomes. So we now have an AP clerk, Savannah, that I think is doing a wonderful job and will continue to do a wonderful job. But during the month of September was a catch-up month. In our purchase services, for instance, I'm reflecting $340,000. In that total is MedHost for $117,000. That's almost 3 months worth of activity. Beckman Coulter, $25,000. That's at least 2 months worth of activity. my company, Welch Couch and Company, was paid $22,000. That represents 2 months of CFO activity in the cost report. Then, inside that number, we also have our ER physician, which is a monthly occurrence of $119,000, and our hospitalist at $10,000. That accounts for 294 of the 340 in purchase services. Looking at supplies and other, in that number, we have a lot of catch-up, if you will, because the AP clerk, the transition, we paid a lot out in supplies and other. Insurance was the same way. We had $43,000 of insurance that we paid out. We were just behind. It hadn't been paid because of the transition. Then also our rent and lease expense, we got behind with Canon, who holds the lease on our radiology equipment. We were behind a month on that. We also paid out $50,000 to Olympus as a settlement towards our scopes that we had on lease that we accepted a buyout from. And so all of that, while not good in a perfect world, is due primarily to the fact that we had a turnover in our AP clerk. A question that Ty asked me earlier today was the fact that, Bill, where do we stand this year compared to years prior? And so what I did, Ty, to simplify things, I went back and I looked at our cash position as of the first of the year. At January the 1st, we had $1.7 million in the bank. And most of that was in a money market account. As of today, 10/15, we had $1.2 million in the bank. That's a difference of $500,000. So I further add that in the course of this, we received a notice that we were due $390,000 from Novitas, which is the Medicare MAC, if you will. They were outstanding settlements that were on.
I'm sorry, Bill.
Plans.
We probably need to
And I
pause.
put $200,000 of that in the bank, if you will, in the money market.
Okay.
Say again?
Okay, it got better. We totally lost you there for just a little bit, but because you and I went over this earlier today, I think I probably can understand what you're saying a little bit better than the other folks. So let me go ahead and just reiterate it once, or say once again, repeat what you just said. You said our cash position January 1st was $1.7 million. As of 10/15, we were standing at $1.2 million for a difference of $500,000. But you also added that we had $390,000 due to us from Medicare as a catch-up payment that they were behind for this year.
Yes.
And that we were able to pay off the debts with from Allegiance with Medicare, those debts that were from a long time ago, and you were then able to take the remainder of that $390,000, which was approximately $200,000, and put it back into our savings. Does that sound accurate?
Yes. Thank you, Todd.
Yes.
Now, I want to add to that, that when we filed our 131 cost report, if you'll recall, Medicare kept, if you will, $868,000. Okay? Because of the change of ownership. Then we have filed the 1231 11-month cost report, and Medicare and Medicaid to date have retained almost $690,000. Total of that is $1.55 million.
Right.
So even though our cash position has eroded, we are owed a tremendous amount of money from Medicare and Medicaid. And so I think that more than makes up for the erosion in our cash position.
Right. Yeah, very good. So basically, even though initially it could look like we were down $500,000, we were able to pay off all our debt, plus put $200,000 towards it, so that would be $300,000. But yet we have $1.55 million awaiting to arrive sometime at the end of this year or early next year that will by far and away make up for those deficits.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Did you have anything else, Bill, for us?
No, I really didn't. Our gross revenue has been consistent over the last 3 months. We're averaging $40,000 a day. Our accounts receivable is at 79 days of business, if you will, days in accounts receivable at $40,000. So, and 30% of that, of course, you're going to have that with yourself. The rest of it is tied up in commercial insurance, of which almost so far at this point. It's not where we want to be or not where we're going, but it's okay.
Okay. All I could pick up from that one was that our gross professional charges are about $40,000 a day, and that our AR on collections is running right around 79 days.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's pretty good industry-wise, right? I mean, 79 days.
It's, good would be 60 or less days in accounts receivable.
Okay.
In today's market. So we're outside the norm, but we've got some work to do. Angie and I have addressed that with the staff, and we have some ideas in place that we think will improve that. So we're going to try to incorporate those changes and improve that situation.
Okay, that sounds excellent, Bill. Appreciate that. I just wanted to reflect that, 79 days sounds really good compared to when we first took over the management of the hospital. It was significantly more than that. So that sounds good. I'm glad you all are working towards 60 days. That would be phenomenal. That would be fantastic. Anything else for us, Bill?
Yes.
Okay. The internet's really choppy for you there. So does anybody have any questions for Bill?
I apologize.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Bill. Appreciate it.
You want me to hang around in case there's a question, or?
I asked about questions and nobody had any questions. The internet is really coming in and out on you tonight, much more than usual. I don't know why exactly, but yeah.
I apologize.
Oh, no,
Thank you.
I don't know that's your fault, but thank you for that report. That clarifies a lot of things for us. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, our next item of business is the medical staff minutes. Angie, you may have to help me just a little bit through this. I've got medical staff minutes for September 8th, 2021 that I've reviewed. Immediately after that, it says May 5th, 2021, but maybe that was just, I think, a date that was left over.
Maybe.
So, okay, so the medicals, has everyone had a chance to review the medical staff meeting minutes from September 8th, 2021? And we also had from July 7th?
July. It should just be July. And
Or July, just, okay, so September and July.
July and September. Both.
Okay, so has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the medical staff meeting minutes from September and July? Yes?
I have, I did not get David to his minutes.
Okay, so David has not, so, okay, well, if I vote, then we can have quorum on it and be able to pass them, which we need to for legal reasons and others. So, okay. So does anybody have any questions or concerns concerning the September and July minutes? Okay, so we did approve the August minutes?
We didn't have an August meeting.
Okay, we didn't have an August meeting, very well. So may I get a motion to approve well, let's do them one by one. Get a motion to approve the July minutes for 2021.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All of those in favor say aye.
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 All of those opposed? Okay, so the July minutes are approved. Now may I get a motion to approve the September minutes for 2021 from the medical staff meeting?
So moved.
And may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, all of those in favor say aye.
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 All of those opposed? Okay, and so we approve the September minutes as well. Okay, with that, we're going to move on. I just want to mention that we do have 3 new staff members that we are approving to have privileges at our facility. The first of which we're super excited about, Julie King, who will be our new family nurse practitioner. I have met with her in person as well as reviewed her records, and she seems to be very excellent and will add greatly to a community that is in very high need for primary care right now. Also, we have Dr. Catherine Barton, who will be a new emergency room physician that we're approving privileges for, as well as Dr. Samara Wickrama, and he will be a consulting radiologist, so he won't actually be on site. You just need me to sign those, correct?
Yes.
Those don't have to go any further as
Nope.
far, okay, very good. But I did want to mention their names in the regular meeting, that they are coming on as new staff. All right, and finally, we will go with commissioner comments. Kent, any comment?
No comments.
David? No comments. No? Judy?
No.
And Barbara?
No?
Okay. For my chair's comments, first of all, I'd just like to thank everybody for doing such good work at the hospital and otherwise. And even though we hit maybe a little bit of a bump in the road with the financial numbers this month, the numbers overall are looking very good. I think that will be something for the commission to remember in the future, that we're probably going to hit bumps in the road from time to time. And as we spend money on a new infrastructure and a new facility, we will want to remember to keep plenty of money in reserve. So, and I know everyone's very aware of that, in order that we can handle these bumps. I'd also like to mention that the commission is planning a workshop, hopefully next month, possibly November 6th. That we're having a little bit of trouble finding a location, but as soon as that location is found, then we'll announce that to the press and the public. This workshop will be a little more interesting than some, in that we're going to be discussing infrastructure and a plan for a new building versus possibly a new hospital built as a whole in reference to the building. So that's very exciting. Of course, we would love to have some community input on what the community would really like to see as far as the direction that the hospital goes in for the future. And so as soon as we have a location for that workshop on November 6th, or a date maybe a week after that, we're not quite sure, we're trying to figure that out right now, that we will announce it to the press and the public. Last comment that I'd like to make is just, once again, I do this every meeting, but just to remind people that it is still possible to catch COVID in the community. We've had some events recently. One event that I'm aware of does seem to be I don't know if I'd call it a super spreader event, but an event that a lot of individuals did become ill with COVID at. And we are, as Angie mentioned, we saw 8 positive COVIDs just today. So I know we're all very tired of it, and we would all very much like for it to go completely away and go back with our lives as they were prior to COVID. But it's still out there, and you can still get sick in our community, unfortunately. So we just urge you to be careful and cautious, and do whatever you can to keep yourself healthy. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
And we are.